Evening, people. It's BNI. It's the red zone. The sun was shining on Liverpool, and the manager was giving the vibes in the press of this week. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. And the lads thought, fuck it, the manager, we don't give a shit as well. Let's play for some pride. And the boys did that. Liverpool scored the first goal. They scored the second. They scored the third. They scored the fourth. And the sun was still shining for about 50, 60 minutes until Liverpool let their foot off the gas. But with me is the misfighting three, but never short of confidence. And it's only right if I start with Mr. Slot, our new pending manager. Mr. Slot, how are we doing? Liverpool were really good in the sun, but the pressure was off.
Yeah, it always helps when you're not fighting for anything. Asim, sorry to be a Debbie Downer, everyone in the comments and to the panel as well. Yes, it is what it is. Got a bit of revenge over Spurs from earlier on the season. Yeah, saw some good performances. Cody Gakpo definitely will deserves a mention. Will get a mention. I'm sure Sarib will give us some facts on him from yesterday. But yeah, I'm not really in celebratory mood. People are throwing parties for Champions League qualifications, but this football club is built on winning major trophies season in, season out, Asim. And we haven't done that this season. So, people can call it a failure, whether we bottled it or whatnot. But, it's let's just hope we can give Jurgen a send-off that he deserves. I'm sure your Klopp cam was full of action. Just on that, actually, your Klopp cam, just want to lighten up the mood a little bit. Yeah. Will that be changed to slot cam for next season?
Well, I'm trying to get
Arnie cam.
I'm trying to get the naming rights for it.
Slot snap.
Yeah, slot snap. You never know. That's a good name.
Sarib. Look, see what I've done to Sarib since Friday. How much his skill set has sharpened up since he's been with me. Brilliant. I like that, Sarib. Slot snaps. Love it.
On Snapchat, maybe as well. But I mean, just on that, look, I don't address people online. Look, people have their opinions. People think I record 90 minutes of football. It's beyond belief. I can't. I need a rest hand, an armrest. Sorry, if I did that. But I like to do.
Can I ask you a question before you? No, I'm not gonna. You got a season ticket, right, at Anfield?
Of course.
Yeah. You go there. You wear a Liverpool scarf. You wear Liverpool clothing.
No, if you wear a scarf these days, you get called a wool.
Okay. You got a Liverpool. You wear something Liverpool, right?
Yeah. Look,
you are allowed to do what you want. You are allowed to do what you want. People on Twitter, this and that, the faceless accounts. I've been getting the brunt of it. I got the brunt of it from this idiot downstairs yesterday. You're going to get the brunt of it from faceless accounts. Cowards. That's what they are, really.
I mean, do you think I give a shit? Do you think?
No, you shouldn't. And we shouldn't even give them the airtime. We shouldn't even give them the airtime.
Of course. But I just want to, maybe I don't address it on Twitter, but since you brought it up, I don't record 90 minutes football. If I sort of get, I used to sometimes get the goals, free kicks, but I'm more interested in the tactical side of things. And that's the reason why I mainly sit behind the manager, row 20, row 25. You get a really good view. But look, if it's idiots, and if people see someone getting traction, it's the world we live in, the social media world, where there's a lot of hate, a lot of jealousy. I can call it as well. I can, really be upfront. But it is what it is, Avi. And if I'm like you say, these guys
his tickets from Konate at the mosque.
There you go. You get conspiracies like that. But look, it's the world we live in and out listening to the show. But two things need to be mentioned. Avi's horrendous tweets every 2-3 days, and Sarib's praise. We'll come on thingy. But look, that's enough time for them, Avi. But you're right. I don't really give a crap about what people say. It's the world we live in, and we just move on. And people will like what you're doing sometimes. I get a lot of praise as well, and we just go with the positive.
Rightfully so.
That's it.
Sorry? Rightfully so as well. Rightfully so.
Exactly. And Avi, look, you know yourself how much shit do you get on Twitter, but it is what it is.
I think I'm the only one that enjoys it though as well. I honestly, hand on my heart, I don't let it get to me.
Of course, man.
Today I get told that I'm a racist. I'm a full-time
there you go.
Muslim hater, and I said, listen, do you know the channel that I go on? And they didn't even realize that I go on a YouTube channel with 3 Muslims. So people are gonna have their own minds made up. I said, if you think I'm racist, chalo theek hai. I'm racist. That's fine, no problem. But anyway, let's get on to business matters. Sarib, how are you?
Yeah, I'm always good, man. I'm always good. I can't really complain, innit? I just watched Man United get battered. Liverpool won. It's been a nice weekend. See, when you're not in a title race anymore, you can. Asim said it last week. You can just put your feet up. Who said it? One of the guys on the call-in show on Friday, Asim, Saturday, said this is probably the first time I can sit up and watch Man City and cheer on. I think it was Albert. Uncle Albert was like, I'm cheering Man City. Goes Haaland. When you're in a title race, you kind of have to be a bit cautious. So it's kind of nice to have that weight off your shoulders.
Gene, what's happening? You were in the COP yesterday, as ever. It was lively. It was when did they start that chant? The Jurgen one around about the first half. But you had that sort of vibe around the sort of Anfield, didn't you? That, you know what, we've come up short, but we need to make sure we send off the manager in a proper way. And that's how Liverpool played yesterday. They went back to basics. They needed to be, because this Tottenham side do take a lot of risks on the ball. And if we didn't go back to basics, if we didn't have this communication amongst the players, then we could have had a really difficult afternoon. But it wasn't meant to be, because Liverpool were on it.
Yeah, look, yesterday, I'll be honest, it was Flag Day at the COP. That's why you probably saw the COP in full flow. And look, it was in terms of performance-wise, you saw the fans were still up for it. Yes, it just hurt playing the first half. You play so well. It looked like the old Liverpool was sort of back, especially for the first 45 minutes. And for the first 60 minutes, it felt so good watching the old sort of Liverpool. The aggression was there, the intensity was there, and we looked like a side, and we looked dangerous every time we went forward. It was just a shame, because I was sat with a few obviously Liverpool fans. They were like, if only this could have come, a few weeks before that. But you know what? Look, we take it on the chin. It is what it is. We move on. Yes, I'm a bit more on the Avi camp in terms of how I feel. It is what it is. We move on. I just want to get these next couple of games, get the couple of wins if we can under the belt, give Jurgen his send off, and we go again next season. And hopefully it's a season that's gonna, the summer will bring some sort of good news in terms of transfers, in terms of the manager, in terms of how we set up and the structure like you've mentioned previously. And it'll be a good one. But look, I'm a positive fan, so it is what it is. We just have to move on and crack on.
Sarib, are you that positive, just like Ash?
You know what? Let me drop some positive wisdom. Technically, mathematically, it's not over. If Arsenal and City basically lose all their games and we win all ours, we basically win the title. But that's the only positive I'm going to give you. But the other negative I'm going to give you is I'm going to tell you to use your brain, because it was over after Old Trafford 4 weeks ago. But yeah, I'm not a positive fan. I'm a real fan. I'm a realistic fan. Sometimes I get my shit for it, but I say my mind. I say my mind.
Gene, you mentioned the word structure. We like a bit of structure for at least 10-15 minutes on this show before it goes all mad. Lineup. I thought Gravenberch might start, but Harvey Elliott came in. He deserved a start, I thought, and I thought he's one of our best players, picking up the ball, retaining, recycling, accelerating on our terms, and he symbolized Liverpool's performance yesterday, I thought.
He was brilliant, Asim, and every time he received the ball, everything he did was perfection yesterday. And the triangle that him, Trent, and Salah create on our right hand side was a joy to watch at times. And he capped it off with an unbelievable goal. But you look at the structure of our side, we did look a lot better in terms of the lineup. I actually wanted Harvey to start yesterday. He deserved this start. And especially with the former Szoboszlai. And I know in the past, we said, especially I think it was the Everton game, we wanted Szoboszlai to start over Elliott just because of the structure, because it was going to be such a difficult game. But hats off to the kid. The kid's been a revelation this season in terms of when he's played. He's done really, really well, and it'll be a big season for him, especially with the new manager coming in. But in terms of how he played, I know people will say there was no pressure on us yesterday, but this is a Spurs side who will have got beat there before. This was a Spurs side going for top 4. And we really put them to the sword.
They've been bad in their last 3-4 games.
Yes, but they're still in a position to go for the Champions League spot, regardless of how bad they've been. End of the day, they're a side that will cause any side problems with the players they've got. We could have taken it easy and got beat. How well have we been playing over the last 3 or 4?
Oh, you're on the 7 behind Villa.
How well have we been playing over the last 4 games?
We haven't played well.
4 games. Well, we've been absolutely shy over the last 4 games. So, put some perspective. We turned up. We played really, really well. The boys need got the credit they deserve, because that performance, especially for the first 60, 65 minutes, was the old Liverpool.
Harvey, it was the old Liverpool. Let's stick with Harvey Elliott. It reminded me of that game a little. Harvey Elliott played in that Burnley game when I think it was who scored that day? Mane scored. We won that game 2-0 about a couple of seasons ago on the opening day of the season.
He looked really good. Yeah.
That's good.
Then Trent, he plays a little ball, then Trent plays the assist.
Yeah.
Second half, I think Jota. Was it Jota with the header?
Yeah, first half, Tsimikas cross, Jota header, then Van Dijk long pass, Elliott to Trent to Mane. Goal.
That's the one.
think
That's the one.
I
The
think
dynamic
Elliott did-
reminded me of that, where we saw a more of a conventional Trent yesterday. Harvey, how did you see it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I did like it. I think there was a bit of flow to the game yesterday from our side, especially Asim. I thought Robbo played well as well. We held the width really good. Elliot, look, it's not that I don't believe in him. I just want to see what happens with him in the next. And I said the same now.
Don't change your words now. You don't believe.
No. But can I finish? You interrupted with Sarib. You don't interrupt with me, okay? Learn your lesson, please. Have some manners, though. Have some manners, though. I will be
There
honest.
we are. The chaos has started.
I will
The
be
chaos
honest.
has started.
I will be honest, but have some manners. Let me speak. Yeah, mute yourself. That's the way you should do. Asim, I've said it I said, look, the next 18 months are crucial for this boy's development. How he comes in and how Honest Slot comes in and plays Harvey Elliott, that's going to be quite telling. I've said it before. I would like to be proven wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong that Harvey Elliott will be a Liverpool player in the next 18 months. And I'll still believe that. I think he's a good player. But yesterday, like you said, Asim, pressure was off. He's been one of those. Okay, yes, I get the age as well, 2021. The last few weeks, it hasn't gone for him either. He's been in and out of the team. But do I see Harvey Elliott in our first 11 over the next 4 or 5 years? I'm not too sure.
Harvey Elliott, if I'm putting players into camps, you could argue he's not a Jurgen Klopp player. Now, time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell, if he becomes an Arne Slot type of player. We've been told that he likes the high press, the high turnovers. He loves the counter press, and he's taken that from the Jurgen Klopp side. But he also has a lot more structure, especially, in build-up play. I'm going to judge him in pre-season and see what the ideas are. If he's going to stick with his 4-2-3-1, do you think, and this is why I've gone back to the Burnley game, in that season we had Fabinho and Thiago, and then we have the Henderson and Harvey Elliott playing that right half space role. Do you think if he can be that number 10, do you think he has got a role if he's got the protection behind him as well, and Trent is a bit more conventional?
I think there's other 10s out there, and I think in our squad as well that can do the job better, Asim, who will give us a little bit more consistency. Listen, if Harvey Elliott can put in a performance like that for 80% of the season, starting games, coming off the bench is brilliant. He's had great cameos, and I've praised him when there's praise to be said. I have praised Harvey Elliott, the Crystal Palace cameo when he came on Sellers Park, the little cameos where he's changed games. But if he can provide this consistency over 80% of the season from a starting position, then I've got egg on my face. Then he's a Liverpool player. Whether he's in and out of the squad, you need a big squad anyway to compete with the likes of Man City, Arsenal. But at the moment, cautious. Yesterday, great game. But listen, it's easier when the pressure's off.
Yeah, but Avi, how would you rate his season for Liverpool this season when he's played? Don't go by the team and you've seen him play.
I think he's had a 7.5 season. No, he's had a good season. Gene, I won't criticize him. I think he's had a good season. In context, he's 21 years old. Coming off the bench, he's been pivotal in some games. Very important early on this season. When it's been a 1-1, he's come, changed the tempo, and we've scored the late on goal. But where does he see himself? He doesn't see himself as a sub, does he? He sees himself in this team over the next 3-4 years as a first teamer in this first 11, not a bit part player. He won't want that tag. No one wants that tag, coming through the ranks or coming through this Liverpool team. They don't want that tag of a bit part player. Do I see a Szoboszlai in a 10 next season? Possibly, yes. Do I believe he can put up better numbers and give us more than Harvey Elliott in a 10 position? 100% I do. So where does that leave Harvey Elliott? That's the question.
Sarib, where does it leave Harvey Elliott? That right-sided role, he's not going to play on a consistent basis. I know Liverpool probably manage Mohamed Salah's minutes next season, but on that right-sided role is probably his best position. If he can become, dare I say, and I know we mentioned it before, like a Bernardo Silva for us, he is going in that direction. He's got a long way to go. But in terms of his natural physicality, he has put, some muscle on.
Yeah.
Even in terms of his shooting ability, this season is developed. And he's got the hallmarks of a player that can play any game. And arguably, you could probably seen in this season, judging by this season, you say the better the opposition, Sarib, the better Harvey Elliott plays, because the onus is to play football against footballers. And Harvey Elliott is a footballer.
Absolutely, and I think it is a nice way to compare him to one of the I think the best dribbler in Europe at the moment, just behind Lionel Messi and Bernardo Silva. I think he's really, really good. I think there's a lot of things that I can see in Harvey Elliott's game that can be touched upon ever so slightly just to take him to that that next level. But I think this season he's really stepped up. I think in the last couple of years it's been a bit harsh on Elliott because he was on loan during the COVID year. He came into our team 21-22 and he was starting games for Liverpool. He started the Burnley game at home, and I thought he was going to kick on. Then he got that injury against Leeds, and then I remember then he came back from injury. He scored on his return against Cardiff in the FA Cup. Klopp threw him away at Inter Milan. So Klopp does have trust in his player. Obviously, last season was a bit tricky with the midfield situation, and now this season, obviously signing McAllister, Endo, Gravenberch, just put him further down the pecking order. And to be fair to him, with the opportunities that he's been given this season, Harvey Elliott, like Avi mentioned previously, he's been really, really good. The last minute win against Crystal Palace, he come off the bench against Luton and got us a goal. Even yesterday, that goal against Tottenham, he's been really contributing, especially with GA this season. I don't have a problem with the way he performs because I always think he looks tidy on the ball. He makes nice passes. He can drift into the pockets, into the half spaces, out wide. He can do all of that. Maybe not to the level of someone like Szoboszlai can or Mohamed Salah, but I've said this a lot on the shows, and I don't know if you lot recall, but he deserves to be playing games based on his cameo appearances. And obviously, he got his chance against Atalanta. He wasn't good, but again, if you give players runs in the team, they would develop. They will develop that match fitness. They will develop that, that game management, and they'll play well. And yesterday, Harvey Elliott got his opportunity against Fulham. I thought he was really good as well, or not to the level he was against Tottenham. But that goal from Tottenham, he was really good in that game yesterday. Really, really good. He's cutting inside off from the right hand side. We've seen it. Mohamed Salah do this year in, year out, and he puts into the top corner. The guy has quality, and he just needs that. A few touch-ups, and maybe Arne Slot is that man to take his game to the next level as an attacking midfielder, as a right attacking midfielder. Who knows? But I see a future for him.
Asim, question for you in terms of obviously Slot likes to play the 10. I genuinely believe Harvey Elliott can be an unbelievable 10. I just want your thoughts.
He can do like Odegaard numbers, Gene.
100% he can. I've seen in terms of how good he was last season in terms because I slated in Harvey Elliott last season because I always felt as though there was no end product. There was no final ball. I've seen major improvement in that this season. He's actually scoring goals this season, vital goals for this season. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know he's been in the goal.
8 assists since January, Gene, only less than De Bruyne and Rodri, I believe.
There you go. So them numbers sort of tell you that in terms of his trajectory, it's going up and up. The lad's only 21. I think the 10 will suit him. Does it come slightly earlier? I know we've got other players that will play there. There might be an instance where Salah will play there, from what we've heard in terms of his change of position. But I really like him, and I think he's got it in him. He knows what it means to play for this football club, and he wants it more than a lot of the players out there. And I think he's got the quality as well. But your thoughts on him being a 10?
If he's in a 4-2-3-1, if he's the 10, I don't know what slot presses in. If he's going to be the second striker, just like Odegaard, then where does that leave Salah? Saka does the job in a narrow. They've got a brilliant block in a 4-4-2, but Saka is in the tracking the winger. Where does that leave Salah? That's my only concern. Maybe Salah can go a second striker. Harvey Elliott can go from the number 10 to the right wing. Is that too fluid? I don't know.
Maybe Salah's the 9.
Yeah, but 4-4-2 we can play off the ball. But where does that leave? Then, Harvey Elliott, does that mean he has to go into the double pivot or go out wide and take Salah's position? So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. That's my only concern about what about Salah. If we use him in an Odegaard position, then where does that? I don't think Salah's got the legs anymore. We've been saying Salah's lost his legs over the last month or so, and I don't think he's going to get any better. Chinky Ghani says Salah needs to go. Look, I disagree with
Asim,
that.
do we think the next evolution? I think Gene ran off because I thought he knew that I was going to ask him about Cavalier, Ballon d'Or. But anyway, Asim, do you think we can? Do you think we might see another evolution in Salah and play him as a 10 next season?
Look, Salah has picked up a lot.
Especially if you look at the playmaking assist this season, the amount of times he's assisted the front three or the front man, Gakpo, Nunez, or whether it's Diaz. And yesterday, even that pass he plays to Darwin, it's a very deep lying pass, isn't it? From that sort of almost central midfield position. Could we see him as a 10?
Avi, you see even Salah pick up, pockets of space, this season. Right off spaces. I think there's a couple of games in the last month or so where he comes central, picks up and turns, and someone's on the shoulder of defenders. But it's very easy. I think situational. It depends on that. You'll see plenty of fluidity even next season. We've seen it this season. From a starting point, I don't think so, because against lesser opposition, we can play some of our players anywhere. Harvey Elliott can play on the right. Szoboszlai can play on the right. Szoboszlai can play on the 10. And Harvey Elliott can play on the 10. When I talk about players playing in a set formation, I try to judge it on playing the best opposition. That's when the true acid test is. Can Salah start there as a 10, and better opposition will try to drag him to play the third midfielder role. That number 10, Harvey Elliott can go back. Salah doesn't want to go into those areas, and because especially with box midfields now, where the opposition took their fullbacks in, Tottenham, took both their fullbacks in. So you don't want Salah to go into areas where he has to roll his sleeves up. We just mentioned that in a 4-4-2 press, I don't want him to be tracking the fullback or the winger. But I think Salah's going to play there. I liked what I saw yesterday, where Harvey Elliott, stayed inside. It allowed Trent to hold width, and the fluidity, that dynamic, and those triangles really, really worked well. And probably is a good segue to the first goal. I mentioned, Sarib was a bit back to basics. You saw that Harvey Elliott came into those areas very comfortable, making play in deeper areas. He gave it to Salah. Salah was holding the width, and he waited for the press. He came in, gave it inside. The switch from Hendo to Gakpo isolated the fullback. He came inside. Salah on the outside of the who was it? Emerson? Emerson Royale, yeah. And it was football, and Liverpool played it on their terms. Switch of play, isolated the fullback, and your boy Gakpo did what he's been doing for the last month or so, where that little floater on the back post has become a bit of a feature in his game, Sarib.
Yes, and the thing about yesterday's performance, especially, is because I thought Elliott was really impressive, and I thought, and I will get onto Salah as well. But for me, Cody Gakpo, and again, it's been a big topic for us on the panel, on behind the scenes, on the WhatsApp groups, on Twitter. We've all been going at each other for it, especially me and Avi had this little war for a while. And look, all I've ever said was Gakpo needs a run of games. Yeah, and Avi's going to tell me, or you lot will tell me, that when the pressure's off, is well and good doing it. And I understand that. That's completely valid. It's a completely valid point of view. Yesterday, I saw glimpses of Gakpo that I've been seeing for a while, and I think we're all in agreement that against Fulham, when he played off the left-hand side, he was really, really impressive. Arguably, his best game of the season came off the left-hand side. And yesterday, again, he was drifting out wide. He was interchanging. I think his best work comes at him when he has someone on the wing that he can interchange with. So when Nunez and Gakpo play together, I think Gakpo's best performance for Liverpool in his career was that 7-0 against Man United, when he was interchanging with Darwin Nunez, when they can both drift into each other's positions. But he was starting on the left-hand side, drifting into the middle. It was really impressive. That assist again, Asim, like you said, it comes from the left-hand side, where he leaves that little floater to Mohamed Salah. Obviously, his goal comes from a central position, but he was picking up positions that I wanted to pick up. He's taking on a defender. I can see him tracking back a lot more than he was doing early in the season. Maybe he's trying to make a statement for this new coach, because he knows that Klopp is going, and he's got a manager coming in the summer that's obviously Dutch, which I think plays a factor for him. Maybe he has a run in to play on that left-hand side, because there's uncertainty of Luis Diaz's future at Liverpool, whether Darwin Nunez, we're going to get onto Nunez, I'm sure, whether Nunez is going to be a Liverpool player next season. But generally, Asim, his performances have been really impressive, Gakpo, especially in the last month. And I think the more he gets a run in this team, the more he gets his flow playing down this left-hand side and has this balanced kind of forward line, I think he's only going to get better for me. And that's all I've said. And you can see
Shahab is asking me why. He says Gakpo is a better on the left in the league. He's not suited as a 9 at this club. We've had this conversation before. Well, tell me why he's a 9, Asim. I've never said Gakpo is a number 9. He's obviously played that connecting role when we changed system back end of last season. He is an inside forward, better suited coming from the left. His best days at PSV was all about turning from that Man United goal in the 7 years.
To my ears.
I've never said that. My only thing was, and I'll tell you what the next point I'm coming to is his off the ball awareness and off the ball work. What was I talking about? A lot of our players in midfield or even the defense, and especially in the attacking areas, they can do a job on most days. But I judge them on the best days against the best opposition. Against someone like, I don't know, give me an attacking fullback, I don't know. No, the right back, Tottenham. What's his name? Porro, yeah, not Pero. Yes, I can't judge it on one game, but the reason why I said he doesn't get picked is because Diaz puts more of a shift. And even if you saw yesterday, 90% of Jurgen Klopp's instructions were towards, especially in that period where we were under the cosh, were towards Cody Gakpo. And there's another lad who was in the BNR group, and it's not me just chatting shit, trying to prove my point. He's called Zaid, and he was saying a lot of instructions from Jurgen Klopp yesterday were towards Cody Gakpo because he was sometimes too deep or too far up the pitch, especially when you need to be in front of their number 6 so they don't sustain attacks. That concerns me against the best opposition, where he needs to make sure he's in the right position so teams are not pinning us in and we can't get out. If he rolls up his sleeves against the best opposition, and you're right, Sarib, the intensity and the aggressive nature of Cody Gakpo in the last month or so has encouraged me. And that's all he can do. And I want to be proven right. But he's young. He's here to develop. Mr. Slot is coming next season. Let's see what he's got in for him. But Robertson suits Cody Gakpo because it allows him to come inside and he's on the overlap. Even on the first goal, he was on the underlap. So allowed him to have that decoy run and he can come inside. He could have gone on the outside, but his best feature is the clean striking ball ability. He's probably arguably our best clean ball striker in the squad. And that's where he will flourish, in those inside left positions. So he can play the number 9 role. But like you said, Sarib, all our Jurgen Klopp type of philosophy is fluidity between the forwards, especially on the left-hand side, even it comes from the left-sided midfielder, Curtis Jones hugging the touchline, so it allows,
Asim, do you not think Gakpo can be a 10? I know we've had this conversation before.
Gakpo, I prefer him. I prefer him
like a supporting act for the number 9.
I prefer Cody Gakpo coming from the 9 to the 10. From the 10, again, it's just what we said to with Mohamed Salah. If we're getting outnumbered, and this is all about coaching these days, central overloads, creating the third man runs, numerical superiority advantages. It's all about that and attacking and staying compact on and off the ball. If we want to play Cody Gakpo to the 10, again, can he roll his sleeves and play that the third midfielder when we're under the cosh? We've seen it right-sided midfielder, a better one than the left-sided one. That's it. That's not his role. And
is that then a coaching? Is that more of a coach training philosophy that Arne Slot will have to bring in, because we're customizing like sort of players like Diaz, Gakpo to what Klopp has set them out to do. Yeah, like how they have prepared a certain player to play that particular role. But is it something that Arne Slot will have to develop with the forwards in general, whether it's a Darwin, whether it's a Diaz, whether it's a Gakpo, to be a bit more productive, to be a bit more protective over the deep lying sort of midfielders, or giving and not being outnumbered, to start off the play from deep?
I don't understand the question.
So we're saying when Arne Slot comes in, he's not going to be taking the same methods as Jurgen Klopp. He's going to be changing the system around. We're all presuming a 4-2-3-1 or however you want to shape out when we're attacking in the attacking phase. My point is that these players will be given different instructions under a new manager, no?
Yeah, of course.
And we're Gakpo for what we've seen of him for the last sort of 18 months, whatnot.
Yeah, of course. Well, look at the 4-2-3-1 isn't much different to the 4-3-3.
It is. Yeah.
It isn't. Arnie Slot has played the 4-3-3 as well. We said he likes the attacking quartets of the double pivot and the number 10 and the striker to two wingers. Cody Gakpo, look, I think that's his best position. He needs to play, and we've got 5 forwards, Avi. Horses for courses. We've been talking about it, all season. And although they were misfighting for 2-3 months, and in the end, it cost us how bad they were in front of goal. Well, if you look at the stats, 3 strikers have sort of put up 20 GA numbers in a season where we're looking at our strikers, basically costing us the league. A lot of people have that opinion.
And we've mentioned that it's the games that they've been delivering in rather than
exactly.
That's what matters, really, to be honest.
Look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. And you might guys think I've got a weird take on this. I don't think Diaz or Gakpo, both of them are good enough to play as a starter for Liverpool Football Club. Asim. I'll be honest with you. From what I've seen from both of them,
Diaz or Gakpo.
Yeah, from what I've seen from both of them over the last 2 years, well, since Mane's gone, since Diaz has been here, Gakpo was decent last season when he came. I give him credit for that when he played in that 9, when he dropped the. From this season, for what I've seen, yes, people can throw numbers at me for one season. Yeah, they've got years, and I know most of their goals probably came in the Europa League and all that type of stuff. But guys, come on, man, we are up against this is the one thing that I don't understand. We can't settle for mediocrity. We're up against Arsenal. We're up against Man City. These guys, we know exactly what where the bar is. We've seen where we are. We're just sat here saying that, Cody Gakpo, that's his favorite position. Guys, the truth of the matter is, I don't think they're good enough.
But do you think they've been developed the correct way, the Gene? Do you think they've been developed the correct way? Do you think they've developed on from Porto when Diaz when he was brought on from Porto, or Gakpo when he was brought on from PSV? Do you think they've coached to a level where they've taken their game, where they've elevated their game? Or do you think the player that they were at Porto is what's transitioned to this Liverpool team? I don't think they've been coached well enough, to be honest.
I'm not going to have a go at these players. They're good footballers. Are they going to be able to take Liverpool to the next level? That's what you need to understand. Avi, look, we can't. My issue with these two players, look, I've seen Diaz now. We've seen Diaz now for 2 seasons at Liverpool. 2 seasons at Liverpool. 2.5 seasons he's been at Liverpool. Granted, he had an injury last season. We've got enough. We've seen enough. Has he done enough to say to you that he should be that? He is our number. He's our left winger. Have you seen enough? I haven't. Gakpo, 18 months. Yes, I know Sarib's going to come to me and say he hasn't played in that position long enough. Let me finish. He hasn't played in that position long enough. Gakpo's best position for what I've seen so far when he played was last season. Granted, I know it was only over 10 games. But from what I've seen of both of these players, I just don't think they're Liverpool quality in terms of in the final third. That's just my opinion. I think we should go and buy a winger.
A lot of people agree with you.
You're absolutely entitled to your opinion, and absolutely.
From what I've seen,
I agree with this as well. I agree with. 1 minute. You've had your little hoo-ha, yeah. Gagandeep Pawar says Gakpo's lack of development, LFC is on Klopp. I feel the same way about Diaz. I don't think those 2 forwards have been helped by the likes of Krawietz, Linders, or Klopp. I don't think they've elevated the game the way Mane, Bobby, and Salah did. I don't know whether Klopp's coaching methods have dated or whether they've stagnated. I don't know, but I think you give Arne Slot some time with Gakpo, some time with Diaz. I think, Gene, for you, it's a numbers game. And I agree with you. Their numbers haven't been good enough. The numbers.
It's not just Avi, I was going to say, lie then. It's not just a numbers game. For me, it's not a numbers game. They have to perform. They have to be a threat every time they receive the ball. I want the opposition to shit bricks when they receive the ball. Because these 3 are our 3 players going forward. That's what I want to see. Look, if it's a numbers game, Gakpo and Darwin Nunez, we're going to get onto Darwin Nunez. You're going to come to me and say he's got 31 goals and assists. With all deep down, everybody knows my opinion on Darwin Nunez 6 months ago. Yes, I gave him a chance. I just don't think he's good enough to lead the line for Liverpool Football Club. And to be fair, the same has to be said about these 2 then. The same has to be. You can't.
Diaz has been given a chance to play in his position for 3 years almost, Gene. 3 years.
3 years. He's missing for 2.5 seasons, man, with the injury.
Look, for 2.5 seasons, Diaz has played week in, week out on the left-hand side.
Where did he get 2.5 from?
What do you mean?
He signed him 2.5
He's
years
been
ago.
available for 1 year and he played the
But
first
John, he
half.
came half a season in the 21-22 season, yeah?
Yeah.
2.5 years he's been
Last season, he had half a season because of the LCL, yes?
So that's one
That's
season.
one season. And
Okay, 2
this
seasons.
season, he's been missing a few games. And
seasons.
yes, it's...
He's been there for okay. He's been
This
there
has been his real first season, to be honest. First real season.
Okay,
The first 6 months of his Liverpool career, he was our best player.
in 2022.
His first 6 months when he came in, 21-22 season.
He was a good player. Don't take the piss out of him.
We're 5 minutes away.
He was the
Mane
catalyst. He was the catalyst of
Konate,
driving us through to the last game of the season and to Paris as well.
When he moved into the 9, was our best player. He was good.
Mane as the 9.
His numbers were
Mane was our best player in 21-22 season. Use your head. Use your head a little bit. Mane was our best player in 21-22.
In the last 6 months, when he moved into the 9, of course he was. Who was better than him?
Please,
Who was better than him? A guy that
They cost us the Champions League. Cost us the Champions League final.
The guy that
What did Diaz do in the Champions League final?
Just because he's a
That was Diaz's 63rd game, Sarib. He played for Porto as well.
So
And he ended up with a league title.
exactly my point. Diaz has had a run at the left wing position ever since he's been at the football club. And let's talk about this season because you love talking about. Let's talk about this season. Gakpo has played centre midfield for 5 games this season. He's played as a centre forward. He's played as a right winger away to Arsenal, and he's got 1 less goal than Luis Diaz in literally 200 minutes less played. And he's played 4 different positions. And you're going to say, well, Diaz gives us so much more off the ball. And we're going to sit and say goals win games. That's absolutely fine. I understand why you play Luis Diaz. He does the work that way. But he's been given a run to showcase that. You keep talking about development of a footballer. When has Gakpo been given his opportunity? He plays well, he gets dropped. He doesn't play well, he gets dropped. Diaz
So
plays
what does
well,
that tell you? What does that tell you? What does that tell you, Sarib? That the manager clearly doesn't rate him.
He's 28
The manager
years old,
doesn't rate him
Diaz.
as much off the left. It's
28,
clear that the manager does not rate him clearly on the left-hand side. Doesn't trust him enough to play on the left. That's what tells you, not me. I don't tell you that. I'm not Andy Gray or Richard Keys. That's what the facts are. The facts are that Jurgen Klopp and the coaches, Pep Linders, who's Dutch as well, they don't trust Gakpo enough to play off the left because he's not producing.
But
You look at his array of goals this season, his 14, 15 goals. Which games have they come in? You're talking about the last month, Asim, Gene. You're talking about the last month. Gakpo this, Gakpo that. What's he done? He's had chances. He gets more than 20, 25 minutes to make an impact at a game. Did you see him in the FA Cup game away at Old Trafford? His body language, it stunk. It stunk the fucking house out. His little cameo away again in the league against Manchester United. Go and make an impact. Go and show us something, just like Jota did. Just like Jota did when Mane, Firmino, and Salah had those 3 front positions solid, hand down. It was staple that those 3. Jota comes in and he made an impact off the bench. Straight away against Arsenal at Anfield, he scores the 3rd goal, and then he starts scoring in that same season, that debut season. Gakpo does not do that enough.
And yet,
So all this Gakpo left this and that, he's not been given. He has been giving chances. He fails to deliver off the bench. He's supposed to make an impact. That's the whole makeup of this football club. Your bodies on your bench are supposed to make an impact too.
Let Sarib come in. Go on, sir.
Let me ask a question of you, right? You're on this channel, right? You're on the 3 of us, yeah? Are you gonna go on another channel and talk to them the same way you talk to Chin, and then go on another channel and talk to the other people on that channel the way you talk to Chin and me and Asim? You're not gonna do that because you're comfortable on this channel. So you say how it is. Cody Gakpo is very hard to build consistency when you've been playing 5 different positions, and yet when he's played this season, he's got more goals. He's got more goals this season than Luis Diaz.
Sarib, it works. Sarib,
Look at the game.
But those numbers are still not good enough, Sarib.
That's my point.
I've been the same guy that says if we get 15 million for Luis Diaz, I said it on Friday. I've said it with Gene as well the week before Friday. I would sell him.
So
can I just interject?
He keeps wanting to compare the numbers to Diaz. Both are not good enough to be on that left. The numbers prove that.
Let me ask
He's
Sarib.
not played on the left though. That's what I'm telling you.
Sarib,
He still won't do the numbers that Mane was doing, or even close enough.
let me ask Sarib a
In
question.
the league, the bread and butter, not Europa League or League Cup or Mickey Mouse Cups. We need Gakpo and Diaz to be doing it in the league and the biggest competition in world football, which is the European Cup.
Avi, let me come in. Sarib, you mentioned that he's played in about 5 million positions. 100%, you're right. But can't you turn the cards and say he's not good enough to hold a position?
And that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine by me. That's what I've said. Let me see him given a run at left wing. And I've said this many, many times. And then I will say, if he plays bad, I will hold my hands up and I will sit on this show, with my face like this and say, I was wrong. I was wrong. But the fact of the matter is, he's not been given that run. So how can I sit there and say he's not good enough to play there because he's not been played there? Absolutely, that is a fair argument.
The coaches seems they think the same as also that he's not good enough to nail down that left-hand position, that left wing position, that left of the front three. He's not good enough. Obviously, the coaches think the same too.
But I think Slot he's got a big decision because I think Diaz has shown his best days with Gomez because it's all about balance, isn't it? And we shouldn't be like trying to play FIFA and put all the big names on the team sheet. It's all about balance. And especially if you've got McAllister on that left-hand side, or Curtis Jones probably can do it better than McAllister, where he can go onto the touchline and hold width, so allow the fullback or winger to stay inside. But is it a coincidence and Mr. Slot, I keep saying Mr. Slot because I keep seeing Avi's name, that he's got a big decision to make. Who is he going to play? If he's going to play Gomez, then he needs to play Diaz, the balance. One can play inside, one can carry the width. The opposite is Robertson flying down that wing gives him the license to stay inside, as in Gakpo. But I think Sarib or Avi, it depends on who wants to take this. I think Gene's got a point where what we need is to go into the market and probably buy a hybrid of Gakpo and Diaz. One has got the balls, the mentality, the champion sort of aggressive nature, intensity. That's the word I was looking for in terms of Diaz's play. The other one has probably got the output ability, which doesn't have what Diaz has. But give me one player that is the hybrid who can do the job that way and also put numbers on the board.
Leo.
Asim, look, I'm not. Look, the way I see is this.
Allah.
I'm not.
That's some Leo. Come on, son.
I am not.
Because Gene, we have to
Bring
find
it to the table. Bring it.
You said,
Leo.
you said, look at Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. Saka can go that way and that way. Martinelli, Trossard is probably more of an output, but they've got the control in Rice and Partey. They can allow Trossard. But we've got Salah on the other side. And if we have to cheat. We saw Mane put the shift in more than Salah. But we can't have Gakpo and Salah cheating in both sides because we're already fairly easy to play against compared to City and Arsenal. We look all over the place at times this season. If you want to be more compact, you need players who can press. And
Nico Williams is the answer. Nico Williams is the answer. Whether we're going to part with 60 million, I don't know. I don't even know what the transfer budget is. I will get told by John Henry next week probably what the kitty is. But Nico Williams is the answer of that left or that right. He can switch either side, comfortable with both feet. He will get you numbers as well. I would have him over Diaz and Gakpo any day.
I'm not
very hard to dispute that too. Kudos for me. He's doing similar numbers to Gakpo. Okay, he might be playing at West Ham. Gene, I know you rate the guy.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not saying.
I'm just saying in general.
I don't want to be sat here, guys. Yeah, talking about you, Salib and Avi, giving me reasons why Cody Gakpo and Diaz should start because both of them, their numbers, the way they've played, I've seen enough. Listen, this is a summer where we have to make real decisions regarding certain players. There's a certain number 9 that we've got a big decision on as well, which we're obviously going to speak about as well. I don't want to spend all this show on Gakpo.
Quickly going around the table. And Asim, you can start the number 9 after this. Quickly going around the table. Sarib, do Gakpo and Diaz, are they still Liverpool players next season?
Gakpo is Diaz, isn't it?
Gene?
I agree with him.
Asim?
I agree.
Fair enough. Number 9.
What about you?
Do you agree?
He asked the questions. That's what he says.
I think both stay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, basically,
does that depend?
According to him, they both stay. Salah goes. Nunez stays because that's what he's been telling everyone on Twitter that Nunez is going to stay. So I'm expecting.
No, where have I said that he stays?
You want him to stay?
I just said that if Barca are serious, I think he should go.
Who?
Darwin Nunez. I said that yesterday. I said if Darwin Nunez, if he wants to do the right thing, go to Barcelona. He'll bang in La Liga. There's no question about that.
You think he'll bang in the Premier League? No.
So did you?
No, I said
you had him start. You had him starting against Chelsea first game of the season. You had him starting against Chelsea first game of the season. Board, but
that's in August, Avi. We're literally.
I know, but he backed him from day one. We wanted Gakpo up there. We wanted Gakpo.
Oh, I don't know if Avi.
We wanted Gakpo.
opinions can change over a course of time. I don't know if
We
you
wanted
realize.
Gakpo. We wanted
Avi,
Gakpo. Listen,
can I just say
if you go over
something?
the course of the last few months, there's been times where Gene has been Darwin Nunez' biggest supporter. He's tweeted it as well. I can bring up the tweets
He's plays for
because I
Liverpool.
always have. I always have. I don't provide paper. I don't provide paper on my notes.
Gene is that
I
type of
provide
fan.
facts.
He's that type of
Everyone
fan.
has backed Darwin.
Just say it.
Everyone has backed Darwin. Everyone has backed Darwin.
Avi.
And we can talk about the number 9 now. Asim, do you want to come into the number 9
No,
conversation?
I will address it because you called me out.
Go on.
Right.
Later.
All year, before Darwin Nunez hit that streak, I have been coming on the show, and people on the show will know. I've always said the title will be on whose head? Darwin Nunez's head. Everybody knows I've been saying title is on his head. Title is on his head. Why? Because I knew when the chances fall to him, it's going to be on his head. If he scores, the chances that we get, we win the title. Don't come in yet. Wait. Yeah.
I posed this question. I know. I remember the show clearly.
No.
I remember the show clearly. Asad, Gene, 1 minute. 1 minute, Gene.
No, let me finish. Don't come in. Don't come in now.
Asad, don't you start interrupting.
Yeah, I said he's gonna go if the title's gonna be on his head, and literally it was. Granted that the other strikers haven't helped him out at all. I accept that, but this is the truth, Avi. When his shit hit the fan, we needed our number 9 to step up. He's had enough. We've seen enough for the past 2 years, and I know you've tweeted that you know what you want to give him another year and all that type of stuff. But you have to put your hand up. No, put it down. Your teacher says put it down. Yeah. He simply, guys, everybody's got their own opinion on him. Everybody thinks, some people say, yeah, give him another season, new manager. Guys, 2 years is ample time for me to see if a guy is good enough. I've had my doubts about Darwin Nunez for a long time. Guys, he is not good enough. I want him out of the door. Straight up.
Oh, this is brilliant. Jesus of the year.
Carvalho's coming back. He's getting me the Ballon d'Or. He's coming back now. Carvalho, I've seen.
I remember.
Is more than enough, Avi. Come on,
Gene. Okay, no, okay.
Defend him anymore. Nobody can.
We had this conversation, I think December, January, or even as early as January, and the question was posed to everyone on a one-on-one as the latter stages of the league goes on and the competitions. Do you trust Darwin Nunez on a one-on-one? My answer was comprehensively saying no. I don't trust him. Asim's answer was no. I will trust him. I think his finishing will get there, especially towards the latter part of the season. I think Sarib was more on Asim's side as well, where he said he wasn't.
Me and you agreed.
Me and you agreed. Now the question is, Asim, I'll pose it to you. Darwin Nunez, we saw yesterday he deleted most of his pictures on Instagram. Still put his Liverpool club and Uruguay and whatnot. You saw him yesterday not run down the tunnel, but he didn't acknowledge the cop end, if that's what you're telling me, and he just walked straight down in sort of disgust or whatever. He's probably pissed off that he didn't get a start. What do we do with Darwin Nunez now?
Look, I've been one of Darwin's biggest backers. You guys know that. Every show, I still love him. I still back him. But am I concerned? 100%. Is everyone else concerned? 100%. Is he concerned? Yes. Is the manager concerned? Yes. He's been, if I'm talking about myself being Darwin's biggest backer, Jurgen Klopp has been the biggest backer of Darwin Nunez. There's reports that Joycey, I think, wrote in an article last week, whether that's come from the club as a leak, as an initial sort of, hint that the club may look to move him on, remains to be seen. But Joycey wrote that this was actioned by the manager, and he was very, very vocal after that Benfica game where he looked really, really good player on the wing. He even mentioned it, that he was playing on my side and he was super quick. And when you look super quick against Ibu and Van Dijk, you've got some rapid pace to burn. But there was a calmness about Darwin Nunez. There was a compilation going around about a week ago where there's a lot of side foot finishes with Benfica, even at Anfield. If you want to just take that example in that game in isolation, where there was a little chip, a couple of offside goals he scored. There's a surprise, Darwin Nunez got caught offside, but they were brilliant finishes. Am I concerned? That Everton game was a really, really big alarming game for me, where the irony was when he missed that chance is he slowed down for a second. So he did number one, but he didn't do number two, where we've been calling out for him to have a default finish, and that's his biggest problem. He's too emotional as a person, as a footballer. Whether that price tag was too much for him, at the moment is showing that he can't really carry that pressure on his shoulders. He hasn't been helped by the fact that everyone has had a stinker at the same time. And we mentioned that, and all the Liverpool fans know that. But there has to be
Asim, how many times do you expect the others to save him then? You can't expect...
No, 100%. 100%. But
he's missed chances all season. He's got away with it because the others have chipped in. We've got the goals and he's got away with it. But when it was his time to help the others out, he didn't. That's the simple...
No, 100%. 100%. At the end of the day, he was our main signing. He's the guy who's to carry the burden for Liverpool, especially the business end of the season. But, Gene, if Liverpool, I'm talking in the perspective of if I was Michael Edwards, if they get a 40-50 million pound offer, I don't think Liverpool will cut their losses. They will want something that what they paid.
They want 60 and above.
They want 60 and above. Will that come in? I don't know. But in terms of Darwin Nunez, if he needs to see like a psychologist or whatever, I think that would be...
Because emotions can be worked on.
Emotions can be worked on.
Instincts you can't.
Yeah, but sometimes, look, the guys who have wrote him off, and I can understand that. I'm nearly there. But maybe I want to see him under Mr. Slot in terms of this guy is a chaotic footballer at Liverpool. He's playing in a semi-chaotic system. So when you put those together, you actually get sort of madness. And I'm not giving him an excuse here, but maybe we see him in more of a controlled positional play type of setup where we see a bit more calmness, a bit more static positions from him, where he's a lot more inside the box or in between the sticks. At the moment, he's going to the left. At the moment, he's going to the right. And that's not him. But he will miss the psychologist. But look, I think he needs help in terms of, his mind in front of goal. He needs to simplify his games and his finishing. He needs to play the percentages. Look, I can understand the guys who wrote him off, but I don't think Liverpool will write him off. That's what I'm saying. Because we don't get that fee.
Sarib, I want to come to you because last season, he came to a team which was in a little bit of turmoil, swapping and changing. Pressure was on Klopp. We finished sixth in the league. After a dire start, we have a little bit of a good run towards the end, or fifth, whatever it was. So it's a bit uneasy on Darwin. But some of the chances that he's missing, the Everton game, there's plenty, and we name it every week. Does he deserve a third season, especially under a new coach, new methods, new training, new maybe plans for him? Does he deserve a third season?
If I'm being completely honest, the lad has missed I think 65 or 48, something like that. I read a stat somewhere. Big chances, the most in the Premier League, and he's Liverpool's number 9. He's wearing the iconic 9 shirt, worn by some of the best players that's ever played for Liverpool. My issue with Darwin Nunez now is that if Jurgen Klopp was staying as Liverpool manager next season, I would say sell. And there's times when he misses a chance, I'm like, get rid of him. If I'm just being honest with you now, the only reason why I would give him another opportunity is because a new coach is coming in. But he needs to fix up because I think is going to be his last chance. And the only reason I think Avi is that he's still here and he's not going to be sold in the summer is because of his price, like Asim mentioned. If we paid 40 million for him, he'd be gone. He wouldn't play a game after January. He'd be gone in the summer. There's no doubt he would be gone. He would be gone after the summer because we paid in it 85 million as a package for him, and because he's like Klopp really loves this player. Klopp wants to get this player right. So I think Liverpool have too much respect for young Klopp in that sense too, that I think the new manager will give him a chance, because I've seen some reports as well that he will be a Liverpool player next season. He'll be given his chance. So yes, I think he'll be here next summer. Yes.
Avi, a question for you. Do you think okay, carry on.
I just want to ask just Gene this question. Gene, is this a win-win for Slot? Because if it doesn't work out, if he does stay and it doesn't work out, Slot could say, look, it wasn't my pick. He wasn't my, I tried my best. But if it does work, it would get Slot on the fans sort of support. The supporters will be on Slot sort of back as well. Like they'll have his support already, that he's turned Darwin Nunez into a potent striker, into a 25-30 goal man. That would help him as well. It's a win-win for Slot, isn't it?
For Slot, probably, yeah. But you look at the way Edwards operates, Avi. I believe Edwards. If everyone will feel like this lad is good enough, they will get rid. Especially if we get decent money.
Gene, sorry to interject. A brilliant point. If Edwards sings, because it's the Mr. Edwards show.
Yeah, it's all
Darwin Nunez, Gene. When he comes to data, he appears really, really high on a lot of metrics: chance creation, offensive, attacking creations, expected assists. But you're going to tell me there's one.
I don't give a shit about any of that bullshit, Asim. When you got a fucking percentage of 11%, your goal conversion rate, this is what
I was coming to that. I was
Asim,
coming
it's-
care about all this bullshit.
You mentioned
I only care right now. I only care about putting that ball into the back of the net because that's what I believe. That's what cost us the title. So
Asim,
please don't give me this bullshit.
I don't think you can single-handedly say he's cost us the
Come
title.
on, yeah. I've been
just
hearing this metric bullshit.
Sorry.
just on that topic,
Order.
our friend Lewis Still was there's a tweet he's put out. There's no indication that Liverpool are in a hurry to give up on Darwin Nunez just 2 seasons, especially as they would struggle, like you said, Asim, to recoup the mega fee they paid when signing him from Benfica, which could rise to 85 million. So if we're going off that basis, I think the reason why he's going to be at Liverpool next season is because of his price tag, and I think that's as clear as you think.
But Bilal makes a good point, Avi. I'm talking about we have to put ourselves in Michael Edwards' shoes, and he says exactly. So how can people say Darwin is not an Edwards type of player?
No, I agree. He's come he can play on the left. He can play as the 9. The chance creation thing.
All our players can play on the left, but they're all shit. I mean, one of the 3 that played out there, they're all shit.
Gene,
two things. Two things.
I'm thinking about, we have to improve. We're up, and this was always the issue. We're up against City. All this time I've been saying, City. This is the bar. You guys were the ones saying, no, AOC, this is going to happen. Don't worry. He's going to do this. Same thing. This is why we're back to the square one. This is why I want to see change in the summer. I want to see drastic change, bro.
Two questions.
These guys ain't good enough.
Two questions. First question around the table: do we see Darwin Nunez here at Liverpool next season, Gene?
Look, we are going to see him because of his fucking price tag, like you mentioned. But do I want him? No chance. I want him out the door.
I think if the club, I think Edwards is ruthless enough to cut a loss on him. So I don't think that narrative that because the price tag. I think there's clubs out there that will pay us 60 million for Darwin Nunez.
That is a fair, Avi, one thing I will say is that is a fair point. And I'll tell you why. I think clubs in Europe, Asim, maybe not in the UK. I think clubs in Europe, because there isn't that many strikers out there, there might be clubs out there that'll think, you know what, he's probably worth giving 50, 60 million for.
European teams don't have that money.
Is he a Simeone type of a player?
He does like a proper striker like that, don't he? If you look at like a
Lukaku, didn't he? He can do like a Lukaku.
Where chaos meets madness.
Simeone, he said.
Are we all like a Diogo Simeone? Sorry, I'm talking about Simeone and Zaghi. But is he going to be Atletico Madrid?
He likes.
He could be his Diego Costa. To be honest, he could be his Diego Costa.
That guy that loves the battle, all that type of stuff.
Okay, so are we all on the panel agreeing that he stays?
I think Darwin Nunez will stay. I think we might.
You want him to stay?
So after all the Bakwas that you were speaking, he's going to stay.
Do you want him to stay? Do you want him to stay? That's a different question.
I want Darwin Nunez to stay. Yeah, I want to see him under more controlled environment.
That's the only reason I'm going to give him.
Obviously wants him to stay. Do you want him to stay, Sarib?
No, I don't want him to stay. But because of the new manager coming in, I want to see him given another chance. Yes, that's the only reason. That's the only reason.
If you want him to stay, then don't you? What are you on about now, man? I don't want him to stay, but the new manager's going to come in, so I want him to stay. Say you want him to
stay. Yes or no? Do you want him to stay? Your personal point.
Yes. Because of the new manager coming in.
Second question is: if he was to go, Sarib, name me a player that you'd want in that central position.
Isak.
Ooh. I like that.
Sarib, well done with that one. I like.
Okay, if Isak is not available,
now they've changed their minds.
No. I agree with you. I just don't think we're going to pay Newcastle 120 million for Isak.
Well,
so give me another one more name.
Someone mentioned his injury record last week.
Yeah,
and it wasn't great.
Sociedad and stuff. Yeah, even before. Dortmund as well. I think he was injured quite a bit. That's why he couldn't break through there. Give me another player outside of England. No. We all want to get rid of Darwin Nunez, but give me names then.
Fair point.
There's only one player that I would want to replace Darwin Nunez. Vlahovic.
Vlahovic.
I said Dusan Vlahovic for a long time.
There's not any striker out of Europe that moves me. There's not any striker that I'm looking at.
There isn't. There's a sample size, very small sample size. I mean, Kane we're not going to get, and plus he's 29-30. I look at Dortmund. No, I wouldn't. Why would?
Henry, I
Okay,
would
so
take-
why would we take a chance on Gaikores from the Portuguese league after
I
we've done that with Darwin Nunez? Yeah, use your head a little bit, Billy.
I would take Isak, Watkins, or Tony. One of those three. In summer.
I wouldn't want Tony.
Any of
I don't
those
think
three,
Tony's been
I
great
would
since he's been back.
any of those three, I would take this summer. Give me any of those three. Watkins,
Victor
Isak, or
Victor
Tony.
Boniface is one that I'd look after next season. I want to. He needs to stay fit and score a fair few goals next season for Leverkusen. Good player though. But Osimhen, but people went for me today when I put his name out there. People are like, no chance. But his goal scoring record, 75 in 130 games. That's not bad, is it?
What about the guy from Stuttgart? Gurus.
I think if we improve our left,
Is it Gurasi?
Yeah, something like that. His goal scoring record has been really good this season for Stuttgart.
I think if we improve our left winger, you might see a better Darwin Nunez as well.
Just play Gakpo off the left, and you'll see.
No, because I think Gakpo is more of a finisher rather than a creator. Diaz is a creator trying to be a finisher, but he's probably not good at both because of the injuries. We've talked about him. Like look at Guardiola. He had Grealish. He bought him for the low block. He could stand his man up, but he didn't have the shift. Then Grealish bought that to his side. How many times did you see Grealish put a shift in? Guardiola coached that into him, but it probably compromised his attacking instincts. So then he went and he was ruthless with it. He bought a proper 1v1 raw winger, a proper winger in Doku. And now he started well. People worked him out a bit because it's still very, very early days for him. But I think Liverpool need to do that.
How is that Asim going to improve Darwin Nunez' finishing?
Because when you have a winger who can go on the outside of Gene, he can attack the box on the outside, cut back.
Asim, he's had them put on a plate for him, open goals.
Gene,
Gene, I don't think that Darwin Nunez could get any worse. He can't. 10%.
Can he get better?
You'll be happy with
he can get better.
Asim, I would have laughed at that suggestion.
By 10% and said, you know what? Wait, Asim's going to come to me in 4 months' time and say, you know what? Darwin Nunez is improved by 10%. That 10%, I need an improvement of 40% in terms of.
That's why I'm going to give credit to Chelsea.
That's
what I'm going to give credit to
Chelsea. My issue. I don't want to see improvement. I've seen improvement in his thingy. I need him to put the ball in the back.
Can you give others a chance to speak, please?
I have been speaking, man. I've let you look. That's why I haven't said anything.
Sorry.
Oh, finish.
No, he's done.
You look, I want to see improvement. But in terms of Darwin Nunez, I'm sorry. I've seen enough. I've seen 2 years.
That's fair. And I think that's really fair.
I understand that point.
But look, that's why some of the other clubs in Europe are more, even in our own league, are more ruthless. Look, I think Timo Werner and Darwin Nunez, I think the way they are in front of goal are very, very similar. They both have really, really, really good movement. They both get caught offside a lot. They're both really, really quick. They can go shift on the left-hand side, play central as well. We wanted Werner as well. But look, it didn't work out for Chelsea, and they shipped him away. They took a loss on him. And maybe that's what we need to do with Darwin Nunez, because it just hasn't worked. If we're looking at the bigger picture, it just hasn't worked. They paid big money for Werner. They got rid. We paid big money for Nunez. And generally speaking, if you look at the 2 years he's been here, it's not worked. Yeah, he's had glimpses, the flick against Real Madrid, the goal in the Community Shield against Man City, the 2 goals against Newcastle. But when you're not scoring when you're not scoring in 24 out of 35 games this season, you have to ask some questions. You have to ask questions.
I think Sarib has made the best comparison of many weeks above all of us. Timo Werner, that's a great shout, Sarib. Timo Werner came with a big reputation. Yes, we did want him. And people say maybe it would have been different under Liverpool. He flustered his lines time and time again. Played always well against us, though, to be fair. And then he was drifted out to the left by Frank Lampard as well. That spells did okay, but I think that's a great comparison. Look, I think with Darwin Nunez, and God knows what he's done with the social media account. Maybe, the board or the data team have told him, listen, or his agent, that listen, we're going to go a different direction. It will be an interesting one over the summer. Asim, you're sticking with him?
Well, yeah. I'll stick with him.
Sarib?
I'll give him one more season.
Yeah.
Gene, you obviously want him out.
Standard.
Fair enough.
Do you want him out?
Yesterday night, I would have said no chance. Waking up today, I'm like, if there's money to be made, 60 million. Yeah, that's.
I mean, you mentioned it on your tweet that Liverpool. Did you say Liverpool have let him down, or Liverpool fans have let him down?
Look, and these when Gina came for me. I meant as in the social media abuse that he got,
Yeah,
not the fans. I know the fans
Okay.
back him. I've been to Anfield this season with they've backed him everything. When he wins a free kick, when he gets fouled, when he makes an assist, when he scores a goal, we've been.
When he
It's the-
farts.
It's yeah, even when he breathes, it's the social media abuse. And listen, I'm not verified. If I was verified, I would have more characters. So I've got to limit my characters. So maybe I might have to pay that $7-8 to Elon Musk a month to
one
get.
second, I want to address Fadi 1 second. Fadi, put his tweet up where he's mentioned he's got
Where?
30 goals and assists.
Not that
30
one.
goals and assists. He's got the second most goals, slightly higher up. Fadi, look,
It's the same thing.
No, I think he's saying that we're disrespecting Darwin Nunez. No, we're not disrespecting Darwin Nunez. He's our number 9 that we signed for 70 million quid. So we expect numbers to be put on the board. You give me 32 goal in involvements, but when you've got in terms of his finishing 11%, if I was to give you them numbers and I showed you how many he's missed, how many sitters he's missed, how many open goals he's practically missed, trust me, it doesn't work like that. Football isn't just give me 32 goals involvements. You've got to. The guy should have had at least 50 goals this season. If it wasn't, with all due respect, if it wasn't for him, we could have won. We could have practically won everything. If FA Cup, it was his mistake.
Just to put 11 league games. He's only scored.
Sarib, just to put some stats out there, Gene, in terms of goals, Mateta, whoever that Crystal Palace striker, he scored 11. He scored 11. Darwin has got 11. Nicholas Jackson has got 13.
You said that, Bobby.
Chelsea fans and the whole of the Premier League have absolutely grilled the shit out of Jackson. Yeah, but when it comes to us, he's doing this. Guys, I just want to be real. You have to understand. You have to be real when it concerns Darwin Nunez. I wanted him to become good. I wanted him to lead Liverpool's number 9. I didn't think he was good enough, but I was willing to give the guy a chance. I'm sorry he failed.
Can I put a name out there?
Asim, please take this question because this is gonna annoy me.
1 minute, man. 1 minute. Why do you give 50 Cent so much time, man? 1 minute. I just want to put a name out there just to watch over the summer. Gene's gonna go for me now. Karim Konate. Just watch out for him this summer. Jota, guys. Let's talk about Jota.
Exclusives as snippets, eh?
Let's talk about.
I like it.
Let's talk about Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota. I think he's at the Snooker Crucible today. I saw him in the picture playing a couple of frames with Stephen Henry. Twitter.
My take on him. I love him as a footballer, but his availability is just not good enough. It's simply not good enough. He's always injured. He's injured for at least 3-4 months of every season. And the crazy thing is, if he was fit for them 3-4 months, we would probably gone on to win a league or done really well in the competition. Because he's that good of a footballer. He's another one. Again, me and Avi mentioned it on a show a couple of weeks ago. Question marks are on him again because his availability is not good. If a bid came in for him for a decent amount of money, he's another one that you question. Look, there are question marks over all our forward line. Bar Mohamed Salah, because I love him, yeah.
Oh,
The rest of them, I'm sorry, but there are major question marks on all of them. Diogo Jota, I love the guy. He's mine. If he could stay fit, there's no question he leads my number.
But Gene, you have to have the same energy with Jota.
Can I come in?
I'm going for Diogo Jota, saying that he's.
So you're not realistic. You want Diaz to be sold, you want Nunez to be sold, and who else is there? Jota to be sold. That's not going to happen.
Have I said tell all 4 of them? I'm not saying. Look, I said Diaz is going to stay. Sorry, I said Gakpo is going to stay. Nunez will go. I also said I want Nunez to go.
You said Gakpo is not good enough.
Eh?
You said Gakpo is not good enough for Liverpool.
he said he still thinks he's gonna stay.
I still said he's going to stay.
Yeah, but if you had the choice, if you had the choice, and you think he's not good enough.
Order, one at a time. Can you have some order? Order.
If you think he's not good enough for Liverpool, then you automatically want him to go.
If he's being realistic,
I want him to go. Doesn't mean that I want him to go there.
Let them talk.
Come on, I thought the think with your head. I can have my team to go. I might think they're not good enough.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be realistic.
But I genuinely believe we will sign a forward.
Wait.
Can I come in on this? Can I come in on this? Can I come in between the two brothers? I think Diogo Jota will be the first forward out of the club this summer. That's just opinion.
So NBA keeps saying that no goal in 1 year for Diogo Jota, right? So his last goal for Liverpool in that run was Man City in April 2022, right? That's 1 month before the season was going to finish. You then have a 3-month break before we start, so that's 3 months out of 12 already, right? He plays, he comes back, he gets injured, he's out till December, January. So he comes back, so he's missed 4, 5, 6, 7 months of football. That's why he has got a 1 year goal draw. Then he comes back and scores against Forest. So that if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk in it, because you need to go and look. You need to
Oh, yaar, Billy's one of ours. Oh, Billy's one of ours, yaar. Billy's one of ours.
Nobody's right though. You can't
You missed 7 months.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah, Billy. Yeah, Billy. If you come for Sarib, you're coming for all of us, okay?
Yeah, players sometimes need to come back from injury. We've all said it. They need time to come back into the gift of things. So Jota comes back from injury, being 7 months altogether injured. So 7, 8, 9. That's 7 months out of 12. He comes back and scores against Forest, and he got the goals. And he scored against Leeds first. Then after he scored against Leeds, scored against Forest, scored against Southampton, and he had a sick run to the end of the season. We all say players sometimes need time when they come back from injury. So if you look at the context, 7 out of 12 months he didn't play football. That's why he's on a 1 year goal draw. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't say it, innit?
Gio, Billy, right up the tree. That's what happened to you, Billy, today. Listen, I think Jota will be the first forward out of the club. Sarib, back to you on Jota.
The reason why I wouldn't sell Jota is because whenever this guy plays,
You wouldn't sell him.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Oof.
No. Because even this season, Avi, he's had injury problems, but this season injury problems have not been down to him. They've been down to impact injuries. The one against Brentford, you can't help that. That's not even his fault. And
What are the latest one? The latest setback, hamstring.
The latest one, I think he was rushed back. So sometimes you have to look at the.
Oh, yeah, come on, you can't say rush back. Bring back
Everybody
rush
was
back.
rushed back this year, Avi, though.
And
Salah was rushed back.
they've all been
back. Everybody that came back this year, they were all rushed. Everybody knows that. So I'm not going to have a go at Jota this season in terms of...
Guys, if he was available for the last 4 or 5 weeks, if he was available for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I think we'd still be top of the league.
My whole point is, I mean, he comes back from injury. He took 1 game to score, and he scored against Fulham. Then he comes back. That's the only reason I wouldn't sell him, because sometimes he needs very, very little time to settle in. Yeah, he needed that period of time when he come out that long-term injury to settle in. But when he has a few niggles, this guy can just come out of nowhere and play so bad and still score. And he's got the best conversion in the Liverpool team. If his minutes per goal is the best in the Liverpool team. If you give Jota 5 chances, you'll back him to score the most out of all the Liverpool forwards. He's clinical, both feet in the air. He can play left, he can play centrally. Like, the guy is really, really good. I know his problem is his availability, but the one season he was available for the whole season, we nearly won the league by 1 point. And if you do the maths, if he's
he was injured in that season as well. He was injured in that season as well.
Every year, Diogo
Jota,
I don't think that's going to happen anymore, Sarib. Every year, Jota is going to miss 2-3 months of football.
Yeah, your body gets worse and worse, especially hamstring injuries. Sarib, I understand totally where you're coming from. I understand totally where you're coming from. Listen, I would keep Jota, but he won't give us a full season anymore. He won't. He's going to be 28 in December as well. I don't think Jota will be out of the door as he was an Edwards signing. I reckon Diaz will be the first to go. Interesting.
Again,
interesting.
Jota, I just want to see him under a new manager. Most of these players, I think, deserve their second opportunity because a new coach is coming in. Maybe this conversation is different if Klopp's still in charge, but he's not in charge. So as much as we want some players sold, I think they all deserve another opportunity because sometimes you just need the right coach.
Sell nobody then. Sell nobody because you got a new manager. Keep everybody.
Look at Jadon Sancho. It didn't work out for Manchester
United. I don't care about Jadon Sancho. The Man United
example. That's an example.
One at a time.
Guys, listen, please. Can I just give a shout out to Naveer Parisha? I think he's watching from Malaysia, guys. So that's some time and early hours of the morning, I believe. But guys, there's 170 of us today. There's been it's been a great chat, heated as always. But please like and subscribe. This is not scripted, and we're not on playback yet. Just wait till we get on playback and start inviting Tom, Dick, and Harry to come for me and Sadib. But please, guys, like and subscribe. We are on our way to 10K. Thank you.
I mean, sometimes you didn't need the right manager to get. Look at Mateta. He couldn't hit a barn door before Glasner comes in. Glasner comes in, installs that confidence in him, and he's got more goals than Nunez in the Premier League. So you have to look at aspects of sometimes you have to be in the right environment, in the right system, in the right team at the right time. And when all these things gel together, you get the perfect player. That's the only reason I'm going to keep the same energy for Nunez and not sell him this summer. And yes, when he misses chances, when you watch on the TV, when you're 1 year Anfield, he misses a chance, you get frustrated. And we all say things in a moment. Me and Eugene go at it all the time. Me and Avi go at it all the time. Asim's more level-headed than 3 of us because he's like our father.
Why you guys? The moment he compliments me, you guys, your facial expressions changed.
That's the only thing he does. He always compliments you anyway.
Sometimes he has a lot of respect for me. He has a lot of respect for me.
There's been no order. There's been fucking no. this conversation today. No order at all. That's why people are unsubscribing today.
Nobody's
Asim,
unsubscribing.
Asim, can you please
I
give us
think
your thoughts
Sarib
on
is right.
Jota?
I think Sarib is right. Look, Jota, I think he'll stay. I think Diaz will probably leave Liverpool.
I think he wants to go as well. That's
He
what
wants to
can
go. His dream is
Yeah.
Barcelona. His dad's been a bit vocal, in the media. But again, when we have to judge it on the Will Spearman and me and Spearman and the boys, where the metrics and the data will show Diaz's output is not great. His pressing stats will be good and everything like that. But when you are classed as a forward in this modern game, his numbers won't be good in terms of your assists and
Preston
goals.
stats are good. Go run a marathon then. Preston
Yeah,
stats
but
are-
look, you have to play the balancing act. You have to play the balancing act. You can't just put 11 attackers on the field and expect to win the league. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But in terms of Darwin Nunez, this is why I think this team, these new boys coming upstairs, led by Michael Edwards and Hughes, will give Darwin Nunez a year to prove himself under a new manager. They might just cut their losses with Diaz, because apart from the defensive stats and stuff like that, they're going to judge him on the attacking XG and assists and just stuff like that. And if they get an offer of 40, 50 million, I think he'll go.
Who is this? Stevie67, Mr. Slot is clueless. You watched Adam Wharton for 3 games and wants Liverpool to sign him. Watch someone for 6 to 12 months before ideas like that. I don't understand.
No,
Guys, what do we think of Adam Wharton, though?
Oh, he's good, man. He's really good.
He's
You can just tell.
classy.
You know, when you look at a player, you can just
Brilliant
tell.
player.
You can
Stevie
just tell.
67, you might want to take off your Stevie Wonder glasses and actually watch the player, because he's absolutely brilliant. I don't think there'd be no one out there that doesn't want Adam Wharton.
Oh, what he done at Anfield, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him play one game at Anfield. I'm not gonna. Yeah, he might be a baller, but come on, let's give it a bit of time.
I think it was brilliant today again, Asim.
I didn't watch it today. I'm sorry.
England are watching
I
really
don't watch United.
So at the moment, all 4 of us have got all 5 forwards staying. I'm presuming that I'm presuming that we all think Salah staying.
I would sell Diaz.
I think Diaz is leaving anyway.
We have to make one. We have to make a call on one of them.
Guys,
There you go.
maybe
Yeah,
an exclusive.
yeah. This guy doesn't talk shit.
a month ago.
And this guy doesn't talk shit. So there you go. Chutti.
Oh, I meant Rio Ferdinand.
Is Darwin ki tohi kado. And let's go have a proper reset up front.
Fair enough. Is there any more to discuss, Asim? We've been going for an hour and 15.
Let's have some positives.
I think Jarell Quansah's first half performance for 60, 70 minutes before Richarlison deserves a mention, more than a mention. I tweeted the similarities between Saliba yesterday in terms of profile. I've been talking about him in terms of our John Stones over the last month or so, but that's me enough of waxing lyrical about Jarell Quansah. He's got a smirk on his face. Mr. Slot, our academy manager as well. It's only right.
I don't need to wax
Quansah. See what I mean? I show you respect as well, Avi. You've been talking about this kid for...
Yeah, but I'm not respectful. So, yeah. I've been talking about this kid for about a good 2 years. Yes, I have. Just like I talk about every other kid in the academy. Right, Gene?
That's why I've got the face on.
That's why I wanted to... That's why I wanted to call Gene now. No, look, I think Quansah is our mainstay next season. I think he gets ahead of Konate. And I don't like saying that. I think Ibu Konate, if he stays fit, is the best, not only French defender, but he's one of the top 3 in the world. He really is. It's just availability with him. These breaks, this stop-start, we can't do it with Ibu unless they really sort his body out. I believe that Arne Slot is bringing a person in that's to do with microphobes, micro gut health, which apparently improves the player performances, maybe helps with AIDS injuries recovery. So maybe that could work for Ibu. But at the moment, I think he's ahead of Quansah. Lads, he's ahead of Konate, sorry, Quansah.
No, I think I probably agree with you there, Avi, because if you look at the last 2 months of the season, how many games has Konate started in the big games? I know the Goodison Park he started, but do you think it's more, guys? I'm going to ask because Avi said so. Asim mentioned question to you. Do you think it's more to do with Konate being like kind of injury prone and kind of managing his minutes and just making sure he's going to be fit and available for the next manager to come in? Because I think Jurgen Klopp does care about Liverpool. He does care about player welfare, and obviously Konate was one of his signings a couple of years ago. So maybe he's trying to give Jarell Quansah that kind of experience as well. in the Premier League, just so he can get this kind of run in, shoe in, because he doesn't know. We don't know if Liverpool are going to be in a title race next season or up competing at the top of the league. So maybe to give him that kind of experience, and next season, just like Bradley, they'll be ready to go. And obviously trying to manage Konate's minutes. What's your thoughts on that,
Gene?
Look, I really like Quansah. I thought yesterday, like Asim mentioned, I even tweeted, he was brilliant. In terms of Konate, man, his availability again is shocking. What are we going to do? Sell him because his availability is not good enough? No. There's certain players that you have to wait, you have to bide your time with, and you have to manage. And Konate is one of them because he's that good when he plays. And we just need that doesn't mean you don't go and sign a centre back. Matip's leaving. You have to go out and sign a proper centre back. And I know Asim's mentioned Diomande, and quite a lot of people, even in the comments, or especially over the last few shows, really want us to sign him. I've always said I wanted two, one on the left hand side, one on the left footed, like a left winger type centre back, and Diomande. That would be the perfect sort of window. But Quansah and Konate, it's a good and healthy debate because Quansah's, he's been playing really well all season. He's probably made one real mistake, and that was the United game. And yes, it cost us. But what an unbelievable footballer he is. From what you've seen, only with how old is he now? 20, 21. You can really see that this guy's ceiling is so high that he could probably become Liverpool centre back for the next 15 years. That's how good he looks already. And he's one of them that doesn't fear anything. I love the confidence in this player, and it'll be interesting to see what happens at Asim next season, because if Quansah starts, because one thing that we've realized is momentum is key. If Quansah starts and plays well, I think he's going to be the number one. That's going to start the games with VVD, and we've seen that with Jurgen Klopp. Yes, we're managing Konate, but it's not just that, because Konate was playing the cup games and Quansah was playing the league games, which tells you Quansah was slightly ahead of him in the pecking order.
I think the one thing that I think the one thing that works in our favor with Konate, and works in Konate's favor too, is he's still 24.
Yeah,
he's still young, and you think after the age of 25, when that defender is entering that peak age, you do feel that maybe the medical team will look after his body more. Do I think he can do 3 in a week, like the Saturday, Tuesday Champions League, then a Saturday again? I'm not too sure, but if he gives us 2 games a week for a full season, I think that'll be good enough.
Well, the thing is, just similar in what we were talking about, Jota. I don't think Konate changes. He's a jeweler. He's a tackler. Yeah. In the way Quansah likes to feel the ball, Konate likes to feel the man. And we saw it. I mean, he's not fit, and hasn't got that spring in his step, and he's a yard short of fitness and pace. We saw Calvert-Lewin give him the runaround, and Quansah is a much better footballer than Konate. When Trent goes into areas that we want, sort of in the advanced areas, a fit Konate is a much better recovery type of defender than Quansah. He's a lot better in the 1v1 situations. We've seen it, how he's handled like the likes of Vinicius and the likes of Doku and Martinelli on a regular basis. But Bilal's got a point in terms of his fitness, and I worry about his fitness, because he's just got a body like that. He's got big muscles. The way he plays, just what we were talking about, Jota, he likes to he likes to put a foot in. Someone like Salah, he doesn't get injured because he doesn't like to go for a lot of tackles. Konate will never, ever back out of a challenge. He's always on the floor, recovery, and that's what his game is built on. But the way Quansah plays his football yesterday, when you come up against a team that's pressing with 2 people, then the onus is on the home side to split their centre backs and go around the block. And we've seen it. Joel Matip come in to those areas, carry the ball, break the lines, and that's a facet of Quansah's game that he is so good. The only thing I worry about Quansah is, can he develop maybe a bit of muscle, a bit of time in the gym, that yard of pace? So he's got that recovery pace, because at the moment, his sense of positioning, sometimes he's chest on, sometimes he's 2 side on, that gets him into trouble. And the movements of a clever striker, Richarlison, that who put that up, man? That he put him into trouble. And there was a ball where it was just a ball down the channel around the corner, but because he sort of was ball watching and got attracted to the ball, he was 5 yards short. And there was a game where even Van Dijk at Old Trafford, he was kept him talking to him, get across quicker. But that's just, natural maturity, natural development, and hopefully that awareness, comes into his game. But in terms of, how he likes to feel the ball, break the lines. If you get really attracted to him from the winger or the striker, he can come into midfield and beat that press and carry the ball and go into areas that where we've seen like the likes of John Stones and Matip come. He's so comfortable on the ball, and he's probably a year ahead in his development. We probably expected this season to be next season. So let's see what it brings. But at the end of the day, he can perform like that and give the manager the headache, whether it's Klopp this season or Slot next season. And yeah, you're right. There is a question mark, but I want Liverpool, and the talk is that, they're going to treat the area of centre-backs and the wide attacker as a priority this season. Let's see if they bring one centre-back or two this year.
Do you think Konate's injuries, especially this season, have been down to the role that he's playing? Because Trent's obviously inverting and he has to cover that whole right-hand side, has to keep coming across. And like Asim mentioned, he's got such a big body type, so much muscle. And we see with larger, bigger, stocky players that the injuries within like Shaqiri, Lukaku, they get injured quite often because of their body type. Obviously, having that workload of being that kind of recovery defender, being that fullback to cover the whole right-hand side of right half spaces as well. Do you think that's affected Konate's, availability this season as well?
Look, he's had availability issues all his career, and you can see that with the injuries that he's had. He always gets injured. That's just part and parcel. Yes, it probably has an effect. And look, I was actually going to ask him, obviously, with the change in system and with the change in obviously personnel and a bit more of a controlled approach, hopefully that will take the way Konate plays. It'll be easier on Konate in terms of how much ground he has to cover. And, will that make it slightly easier? But obviously, you answer the question in terms of, look, this is who Konate is. This is how his body is. He will always get injuries. And that's just the way it is. But we just have to accept that. But look, we have to still go into the market and bring in a proper defender because, look, Van Dijk's turning, was it 33 soon or he's 33? I don't know his exact age. So we have to start bringing in a player. Matip's leaving. So there's no doubt that one centre-back comes in. But just, again, look, it'll be interesting to see who Slot brings in and what sort of way he's going to produce, what sort of way he's going to sort of play. But look, I love Konate. I want him to stay. I think he's an unbelievable defender. And Avi's right. On his day, a fit Konate is as good as any centre-back in world football. But he needs to stay fit. But I can understand why some of the fans here have said, you know what, Jota and Konate's injury record simply ain't good enough. And if they ain't good enough, you sell. But I think Konate, because he's young and he is arguably one of the best in the world. Once you have 4 centre backs, and if we can bring in another decent one, you want to have at least 3 or 4 good centre backs in the football club. So I think he will stay. I can't see us getting it.
You see any great side of the previous years in the Premier League, and even take Arsenal as an example because they're the guys who are challenging, currently sitting at the top of the league. Gabriel, Raya, Saliba, they never change.
Yeah,
they never change. And can we afford to rotate our centre backs? Every great team is built on great foundations, and can we have that where we on managing Konate's minutes? I don't mind managing attackers, and even some midfielders, but there's the spine of the team. You don't change. Look at Rodri, the amount of games he's playing, the amount of games Walker plays, the amount of Edison. These guys, whenever they fit, they don't. And someone at 24, do we really want a situation where we're managing his minutes? But that's the situation. It is what it is. But if it happens for another year, then we might have to make a call on Konate as well.
It could be, and it could be just a phase as well, where, look, he finally recovers from the injuries and he's able to play week in and week out. I just don't know if his body will let him. That's the only thing, to play 3, especially with Champions League. It will be more intense, and Arne Slot's not going to let up from, when you talk to Feyenoord fans and their forums, or, just experts out there that have given this sort of 2 pence worth on Feyenoord. The training is just as intense. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Ibu. But I think he's one of those who's safe for this season and this summer.
Yeah, look, I don't want to sell. What I was saying and make a call in him. I wouldn't even sell. I wouldn't even sell him next season. But what I would say is I don't want Konate to be first choice then on paper. Like this season, I bring Diomande in and probably another centre back because we need that flexibility in certain areas. I want to play with a proper left-sided, a centre back. I think Robertson has had great days for Liverpool, but I want him to be the option on the bench if we're chasing games. But Chalo, it's been an absolute cracking show once again. Mr. Slot, thank you very much. Gene, as ever. Gene, what did you have? Just let everyone know, what did you have tonight to eat?
You know, I'm just.
I will some of that. I will
told
some
you,
of that.
I'm still not over. Being shit. I'm not over. I went to watch a Spurs game who I thought it was going to be some sort of title flipping, sort of season. We're going to go for it. And that time I turned up at Spurs game, and it was a load of just an anti-climax, man. And I'm struggling to get over it. I'll be honest. So I want to see proper changes this summer, man. I'm not settling for this bullshit again.
Good for you, Gene. We're getting a new manager. That's a start.
Yeah, TK, look, I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with that, but meaning, you know what? It's a bit of a change. We're bringing in, hopefully Edwards comes in, and I'm confident with Edwards though. Asim, that's one thing that I want to say is he's been there, he's done it. I'm confident. Whoever he wants to sell, get rid. Whoever he doesn't, the guy we have to back. He wanted Slot. I'm backing him to the hilt, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, Mugby when you need him. Yeah. But look, honestly, man, it is what it is. We just go again, 2 more weeks, and then we start. Then the real stuff begins.
I think we should end on this comment. Thank you very much, Muju. Would like to say thanks for the shows, lads. It's kept me going, listening on most days, especially been tough year, having been ill with cancer, but have managed to beat it somehow. Keep up the great work, Muju. We send our love, we send our prayers to you, and what you just said, you beat cancer. If we're helping in any way, that this has made every single minute of our shows worth it. And this is what it's all about, bringing the community together, bringing the fan base together. And football's, I know we go crazy and our opinions make us emotional, but when you read messages like that, it just puts every single thing in life into perspective. But we send our love, we send our prayers towards you and your family, and stay blessed. And if there's anything we can do to help, then bro, all our DMs are open, and get in touch with us. But yeah, bless, and we send all of our prayers. Sarib, did you want to end?
No, I don't have anything to say. Just to that comment there. Just obviously, like we make content. Yeah, we laugh, we joke, we abuse each other. But at the end of the day, we're all a Liverpool community. We want the best for our football club, and like Asim put it very, very nicely, we all want everyone to be okay. The Liverpool fan base can be divided at times, but the one thing we all have in common is that we love our football club and we want the best football club. And if our content is helping you get through a tough time, and like you said, congratulations for beating cancer. And that's all I can say, really. Just bless up to you. And inshallah, like Asim said, if you ever need any of us, you can just drop us a DM.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. That was the Red Zone. We shall see you. What's the schedule? Quickly before we go.
We're not going to go Sunday, though, because we're playing next Monday to Villa. So what are we going to do then?
Are we playing Villa on the Monday?
We'll do a little fun show on Sunday.
Yeah, Gappy Shappy.
We'll think of something.
Okay, brilliant. Stay tuned, and we shall catch you very, very soon. Have a good night. Take care. Sarah.
Take care, guys.